As a straight guy, what's the gayest thing you've done? I had a sleepover at my friend's house when I was 13, and we laid out some blankets and fell asleep in his living room. I woke up first to him spooning me, and I didn't move at all because I wanted to avoid any awkward moment in our friendship by having us both know of that cuddle moment. So I laid there as still as I could for maybe 30 minutes until he woke up and quickly but carefully got off of me. I then got up 10 minutes later, and that moment now doesn't exist in our friendship. Also doubles as the dumbest thing I've ever done. When I was like 7, I was wrestling with a guy at school and my head got buried between the dude's crotch. I took the opportunity and bit. He was in a lot of pain and confirmed I did just bite the cherry. I went home and asked my parents if I'd get pregnant. On deployment in the Marine Corps, I was laying in the desert next to my team leader under a perfect sky. All the stars were out and the air felt like the shade on a hot day. Him and I talked calmly about our families, our dreams, and how perfect the sky looked, and how small that made us. "Hold my hand," he said. I could feel, without touching, that his arm was extending. Over the course of the following second I contemplated my whole existence before half-consciously reaching out to him. His hand felt nice, and we said nothing. This lasted for maybe 10 minutes, until we fell asleep. My friends and I were all in a bathroom together, and we were really hyped up for some reason, and we showed each other our wieners. Oddly enough, I think it made us better friends. I was at my friend's house when I was about 12 or 13. My friend pulled out a few Playboys and told me I could use them if I wanted, but only if we did it together. I had to sit on one side of the bed, he'd sit on the other. I could have a blanket over myself so he wouldn't see, but we'd still be jacking off less than 3 feet from each other. This was in the days of dial-up internet. Playboy was still like gold to me, so I said sure. About 10 minutes later, and he's already come, and I'm about to come, and his mom walks in on her son watching his best friend furiously masturbating. That was a difficult one to live down. Oh boy, when I went to basic training, the recruiters told me that it's an adjustment, but after 2 weeks, you kind of get into a rhythm. Your sleep pattern changes, you're away from your phone, Reddit, and really any contact with the outside world except for a few blocks of time. It's all an adjustment. What they don't tell you is how ducking weird it is to not be touched by another human being for weeks on end. And not even in a sexual way, just any touching in general usually doesn't happen. I'm not shaking hands or high-fiving or hugging anybody, and neither would you. I didn't even notice how much I missed being touched until we paired up and had to rig up our vests for a range day. I needed a little help, so this dude starts adjusting my vest while I'm wearing it. The gay part is that it felt fucking amazing to have another dude touching my back. I'm pretty sure I let out an audible "oh yeah." It felt so good that I purposely ducked it up after he was done and had him redo it. The second time I was leaning into it, eyes closed, the whole works. TLDR, missed human contact while at basic training. Went gay for a second. Once, my friend group decided to skinny dip and play truth or dare. The girls wanted to see how far us guys would go, so they kept daring us to do shit like make out, touch each other's PTs, etc. For me personally, I made out with another guy, and one of the guys kissed my PP. I'd say that's pretty far to go for all of us. We're all straight. A friend and I needed to shower after shooting hoops because we got told about a party last minute, summer between HS graduation and college. We really wanted to get out there because a ton of people were supposedly going, and we wanted to try to get laid. People went crazy in the summer in my hometown. We both needed to shower but didn't want to take time, so we hopped in at the same time and basically turned in a circle, one person in the water, the other out, to cut on time. Made things a lot quicker, and we actually both got laid the night we did that. Rare that we both got lucky the same night, so we did it a few more times that summer. Usually at least one of us got action. For reference, this was the tiny shower in my parents' house, not a gym/locker room shower. I pretended to be Kevin's boyfriend for the night and inadvertently signaled my availability to a gay bar. When I was backpacking in Sydney, a bunch of Irish girls at the backpacker hostel, Jolly Swagman FTW, wanted to go to this place on Oxford Street. As far as guys go, there was me, Irish man named Kevin, and 2 Danish men we called the 2 Jans, pronounced Jans. As soon as it became apparent the place was a gay bar, on a street full of gay bars and clubs. Thanks girls, and the girls wanted to see our reactions. The Jans left. Me and Kevin stayed. We figured that we got to flirt with these girls knowing that we wouldn't get anywhere, but the fact that we were in the group as 2 guys meant the other patrons would think we were an item and these were our lady friends. So we were safe enough. I did get a little bored near the end, so I started shining my laser pointer on my keychain up at the ceiling, and my dot was joined by another, and another, and another. Ducking hell, laser pointers were a gay bat signal in Sydney in 1998. So yeah, that would be it. I lit the beacon and gay lords called for aid. In the 60s, I made love to many women. Often outdoors, in the mud and the rain. And it's possible a man slipped in. There would be no way of knowing. I told this story and another about a couple of years ago, when I went up to visit my friend in Minneapolis. His apartment was located right across the street from a music festival, so we hung out on his lawn drinking all day and enjoying free live music. Later on that night we went out for a cigarette and started walking around his neighborhood. What started as a short cigarette walk ended up being a longer excursion as we made our way past the house into some forest area near some train tracks. It was really cool for me being able to see more stars than I was used to seeing back in Chicago and actually being able to walk from the city into nature. We kept hiking and ended up next to a lake. He asked if I wanted to go swimming, and I said, yeah. So we ended up skinny dipping in the lake. I hadn't been swimming in a long time, so it was especially fun for me, and it was so awesome to swim at night with a cool view of the city across the lake. It was such a beautiful view and night that we didn't realize we were ruining the intimate moment of another couple. While we were just 2 naked drunk dudes swimming in the lake by the moonlight, there was a couple on the shore that was trying to have a romantic picnic, complete with wine and a blanket. We thought we were alone until I saw them, but it's funny to think how it was to see that from the couple's viewpoint. 1 minute it's a really romantic night, then out of nowhere 2 naked guys run screaming at the water. Anyway, swimming naked by the moonlight alone with another guy sounds pretty gay, even though both of us are straight. My best bro and I are so gay together. We consistently flirt, and one time, at a party, a girl asked one of our close friends if we were gay. He was like, no, not at. Well, we don't think so. His mom once told him he was allowed to invite me to family dinner, and he was like, I know. And she then said, and you know we would support you if we made out once to get 2 chicks to make out. I'm pretty sure I'm in denial. Edit, we are in denial. Also we know all the words to No Homo Bar Lonely Island and frequently sing together. Edit 2, my girlfriend, Ike, says I have to tell you about something that was recent. Before I met her, I ended up moving in with my parents for about 8 months. About halfway through that time, my best bro needed a place to stay, and my parents know how close we are, so they let him stay with us. We were going to get an air mattress for him, but the first night he got there it was really late, and we decided just to share the bed. Fast forward 4 months, we are still sleeping together in the same bed. It was cute. My wife and I hang out with a lot of married couples. I realized that when I greet the wives in the group, and when we leave, I kiss them on the cheek. After realizing that I was doing this without really thinking about it, I just started doing it to the guys too. That way they don't think I'm some weird creep trying to mac on their wives. They just think I'm weird. Surprisingly everyone is cool with it, and it's just sort of become my thing. Just about everyone leans into it now and gets confused if I happen to not give them a kiss on the cheek. Got a BJ from one of my best friends who is gay. Nothing like getting a BJ from a guy to realize that you are definitely not even bisexual, but after 2.5 year dry spell a BJ is a BJ. Made out naked with a dude in the living room of his girlfriend's parents' house. It was the price to pay for something that never came to fruition. That game of strip got out of hand fast. Edit, because people keep asking, we were drinking heavily and thought we could get our girlfriends naked and make out. Hot, right? That was our thought. Well, we set forth the rules of one piece of clipping per lost hand. Us on one team, girls on the other. Last loss would be make out. Well, we ducking Lost entirely because we forgot about girls having one extra article of clothing than men. They were laughing their way to the proverbial bank. I honestly thought I was bi for a bit in high school. Sucked a few PPs, wasn't bad. Went on Craigslist, met up with some dude, took it in the ass. Realized at that point I was 100% not gay. Was a champ though, and let him finish.